Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flix Show. My name is Chris Wong. I got a few DC updates for you today, this Friday, as we close out the week. What amount of noise? A lot of things that have happened. Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about Harley Quinn, the animated series. Joel Kinnaman talks more about the Suicide Squad. And a cast member is being checked out for COVID over on the CW Superman and Lois, and also an update to that Superman story from yesterday, including Kiersey Clemons actually is recorded to talk about a little bit about her possible role in the Flash. But before we get into that, I have to thank my newest member of the Ping Pong Flix Show. Thank you so much, Mr. JC17, for joining the Ping Pong Flix Show. In addition to all my other members of the Ping Pong Flix Show, thank you so much. You guys are the lifeline of this channel. Thank you so much for your support. And also, thank you to all the rest of the subscribers who had clicked that subscribe button. Thank you so much for your support. All right, on to the news. The first news nugget of the day is kind of a two-parter. The first one is Harley Quinn renewed for season 3, and also DC Universe is transitioning to a comics-centric platform. This came out on The Hollywood Reporter today in regards to Harley Quinn, which is very awesome news for the Harley Quinn animated fans such as myself. I left off season 2 wanting more and more. We are going to get finally. So Hollywood Reporter reports Harley Quinn renewed for season 3 at HBO Max as DC Universe drops scripted. What that means is the streaming wars have claimed another victim. 2 years after it launched as a home for scripted originals and library content, DC Universe is officially exiting the scripted landscape and transitioning to a comics-centric platform. But there is good news that comes with the change. All of the platform's scripted originals and library titles will move to fellow Warner Media-backed streamer HBO Max. That includes animated breakout Harley Quinn, which has now been renewed for a 3rd season. Yes. Awesome stuff. Harley Quinn will join Doom Patrol and the previously announced 3rd season of Titans as an HBO Max original. Previous seasons of all 3 shows will also now migrate to HBO Max. The trio of Greg Berlanti produced dramas from Warner Bros. TV will join other originals, Young Justice and Stargirl. So the other ones are going to go to those channels instead. But I think Stargirl and all these other ones will probably end up in HBO Max. This is just my guess. I'm not, not quite sure yet at this time, but it's awesome. Harley Quinn from showrunners Justin Halpern and Patrick Schumacher has picked up steam since its first 2 seasons arrived in HBO Max. Sources say the renewal, which came early Thursday, followed a round of negotiations that hinged on a new budget for the series, and I've reported on that. That process had been stalled by the major executive shakeup at the streamer that saw senior leaders Bob Greenblatt and Kevin Riley pushed out and oversight of the platform given to HBO's Casey Bloys. That all of the original scripted and library offerings on DC Universe would move to HBO Max comes as little surprise. The platform stopped buying months ago, and originals had been slowly moved elsewhere. Stargirl, for example, was renewed for a 2nd season on the CW, while the Doom Patrol sophomore run was shared on both DCU and Max. This is coming from Jim Lee. He told THR, the Hollywood Reporter, last month. The original content that is on DCU is migrating to HBO Max. Truthfully, that's the best platform for that content. The amount of content you get, not just DC, but generally from Warner Media, it's huge, and it's the best value proposition. We feel that is the place for that. And I know we kind of had a debate on YouTube, the viewers and I, in terms of DC Universe, and I said, just wait and see. But it is true. They are now moving all these titles, right? All these video, movies, animated series, everything off of DC Universe over to HBO Max. But they're not getting rid of DC Universe, so you're right about that. They are now just utilizing DC Universe as a comics centric platform. It's a library of comics, just like Marvel has their own. So on the library side, HBO Max is already home to a roster of DC titles, including features like Suicide Squad, Joker, Justice League, and soon to be Zack Snyder's Justice League, Shazam, Aquaman, Wonder Woman, yes, Birds of Prey, Harley Quinn as well. So all that is going to be on there. And also hearing that you'll potentially we're going to have the other series on there like Titans, which will be among the originals, including Stargirl, maybe going to there. I don't know yet. And hopefully Swamp Thing 2, might as well. HBO Max is the center. Throw it on there. Just load them up. Just throw it on there. But amazing news. Happy for Harley Quinn, Kaylee Cuoco, and the rest of her team. And of course, Justin Halpern and Patrick Schumacher. Thank you. This is awesome. Thank you so much for renewing Harley Quinn season 3. I love that show. It is hilarious. Makes fun of everything, and it's such a great show. You guys should really, really, really check that out. So, but now you can. If you didn't have DC Universe before, or you're thinking about HBO Max. Now you know. You don't have to split up your costs between DC Universe and HBO Max for these DC movies and series and titles. Just get HBO Max, because that's where eventually it's all going to end up, and that's where it's going to go, right? And in addition to what's coming, which is Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League, which would be so awesome, right? So that is that for Harley Quinn. But since we're talking about Harley Quinn, let's talk about the Suicide Squad for a second. See how I segue into that? So the Suicide Squad will be heavily R-rated. Now this is more of Joel Kinnaman, which is interesting. He's the only one being interviewed. That's interesting. But I think it's because he has these movies coming out called The Secrets We Keep and The Insane. So Joe Kinnaman talked a little bit about the Suicide Squad, and some of this you may have already heard from me when I reported it, but there's a little bit more to it, so I'm going to read it to you again. Okay, when he was asked about the Suicide Squad, this is what he had to say. That movie is going to be insane. The script is so funny. Every page of the script was funny, and every page made me laugh. James just has this command of that genre, but also of over every aspect of comedy and even the marketing. He just understands the world so well, and since he wrote it, he really reinvents not just the concepts but also the characters. For me, it was like I did my first comedy, but it's like heavily R-rated. It was real learning experience for me too, because I'd never done a comedy in that way before. So I asked James to work with me and teach me this SHIT, and yeah, we had so much fun doing it. That movie is going to be an effing monster. Honestly, even though I'm in it, I can't wait to see it as a fan. And that's in terms of the Suicide Squad, heavily R-rated. I mean, I think that could be the bad words, since he just swore just there, right there. Bad words, more F-bombs, also more blood and more gore. I mean, you do see a guy almost pretty much getting eaten by King Shark. So you'll definitely have those moments as well. Body parts being blown apart and things like that. But for people who are really interested in the Suicide Squad, and it does intrigue me. I like the behind the scenes look for it, and I'm very intrigued by the comedy factor, how every page is funny, and that it could be funny in a raunchy way or a black comedy, so there is that as well. But I want to go down to a little bit more of what he talked about the Suicide Squad in terms of the last movie. And the last movie, of course, is David Ayer's Suicide Squad, and how he, maybe we can take a look a little bit for both, right? So what struck me most about the first Suicide Squad movie was the close-knit cast. Granted, every press tour tries to create that impression, but you could tell there was something genuine among that group. Most of the actors gave each other squad tattoos, like the one Will Smith gifted you, and the two of you have remained pals ever since. And yet it looks like the Suicide Squad's fusion of old and new cast members also created a really special bond. Would you say that's the case? And Joel Kinnaman said this: yeah, there's definitely some new members that are already becoming real friends. But there's something about the first gang of lunatics. There was more energy put into making the movie the second time around. The first time around, there was a lot of energy put into everything around us. But no, they're such good people. It's also something about the whole concept of being a squad. There was never a bad ego on either of these films, not the first or the second one. There was never a person that was trying to suck up all the air. On both films, there were really generous, warm, funny people around that were just about feeding the collective. There's something about the concept that really helps that vibe. And because there was a core unit from the first one, I think we brought that spirit of the first film into the second one as well. And that's great to hear, because one of the things about, the original Suicide Squad, that I liked was even offset behind the scenes, whether it's the red carpet or things like that, you can totally tell the cast really got along. And that translated to a really good, chemistry between them on set as well, and in the movie. So, although we didn't really get to capture the whole thing because we haven't actually seen David Ayer's Suicide Squad, but seeing that and seeing the behind the scenes, seeing the DC fandom event and the panel, you can really tell that these guys really got along. And that's great. We want that chemistry offset, because that would translate on set, and they will love to work with each other. And so I think that's what he's trying to say here, in which both movies, they have that incredible chemistry. They really got along. They really had fun. And hopefully that translates to a very good time in the movie theaters, or, whenever we get to see this. So the Suicide Squad will be heavily R-rated. It's going to be fun. It's going to be funny as well. And let me know. Are you still interested? Are you looking forward to the Suicide Squad? Let me know down in the comments down below. Okay, next up is a CW TV series. Now, this is not in production yet, but there is an update today. Superman and Lois cast are undergoing COVID tests before production start. This actually was put out by Elizabeth Tulloch, who plays Lois Lane. She's repped by her team, the Trailblazers, during her first COVID test today. And so this just shows you that they are finally in the process of getting their tests. And if negative, I think maybe they can shoot quicker. I think maybe after displaying negative symptoms or anything like that, they don't have any COVID, they could probably get to set, probably quicker than maybe what they originally intended, because they don't have to go into quarantine. So if it's all good and going, then we can start seeing them actually shooting the CW Superman and Lois. And I'm really looking forward to seeing what Superman's new suit's going to look like, and with his new, pretty much it's almost like a new 52 Superman S symbol on that. So that's amazing. That's great to hear about the Superman and Lois cast. Speaking of Superman, there is a small little update today in regards to that Superman Returns article yesterday, and this is and which is actually getting me really excited, right? It gets me excited, also gives me great hope that they haven't given up. But Dany Garcia and BossLogic, well, it's a BossLogic picture, reassures that hope never left. This is the next topic up right now. Now, Grace Randolph had tweeted this out. It says, "Remember, as I reported 3 months ago, very likely Henry Cavill will appear in Black Adam, which is produced by Garcia's business partners, The Rock, and her brother Hiram. Also, she's his manager, of course. She wants to keep interest as him in Superman strong, as she should." So Dany Garcia had put this on her Instagram. It's a picture that BossLogic showed. On the caption, it says, BossLogic says, "Hope never left" at Henry Cavill Superman. So I think all the great Superman conversation of Superman possibly signing deals was so big that they utilized this opportunity to say, yeah, don't worry, hope never left. Meaning there is still a chance that Henry Cavill will return as Superman. So, just wait, just keep waiting. Don't worry. there's going to be something soon, possibly, right? And so this gives me great hope, and it goes to show that Dany Garcia is really looking over social media. She's really into it. She knows what's going on, and she knows what people and goes with the crowd of what they're talking about. So a lot of people really were excited that Henry Cavill is possibly going to be returning as Superman. This is great that she put this out today. It's on Instagram. You know, she didn't retweet it out. The BossLogic's one's on Twitter, which would probably gain more traction, but that's fine. And leave it to the fans to find it, right? And so they found it, put it out, and honestly, I was like expecting some kind of official announcement from the trades or something right after, but nothing happened. And I spoke to, you know, many sources, even you know, Shiraz Faruqi from Comic Book Debate also checked his sources, and he put out a video that he didn't find anything. Film Junkie checked his sources, didn't find anything. Grace Randolph still never found anything. I mean, even Ryan Unicomb said there's nothing happening. But yeah, so no, it's the same story from 3 months ago, but that's okay. You know, that's okay. It's still hope. Like, hope never left. It's just the same, pretty much the same wording. Like, Henry Cavill still has a Superman in his closet, still has a cape in his closet. And I think this is great news. This is great a news that and BossLogic, right? He's in the system. Come on, man. He made that Superman. Let me see if I can pull that up, because it's such an awesome piece that BossLogic done over 3 years ago. Here we go. Oh no, it's not. Over 3 years ago, right? No, less than 3 years ago. In 2018, early last year, and that was in, it was 2017. So that last year, The Rock contacted him to playing around with the fan art ideas of a showdown between him, Black Adam, and Superman. It was a super fun piece of work, and I really hope this fight happens one day. So obviously, he was talking to The Rock back then, August 1st, and the year before. And Jim Lee even helped out with this. And that I want to see that. Like, oh my God, would that be insane, right? And it feels like Dwayne Johnson's been Black Adam forever. And just for him to have that concept during the time of when Justice League was going to release, he talked to BossLogic and Jim Lee, says, this is what I want to do. We just got to get Henry Cavill those contracts, right? And so it's I just want to see this. Please, like, it's been so long. It's almost even longer than waiting for the Snyder cut at this point, because this came. They were planning this in 2017, and one won't see Black Adam for a while. But wouldn't this be amazing? Just the third act. Just imagine the third act. You see Superman. You see the fight get to Metropolis. Dwayne Johnson or Black Adam starts fighting, and they fight in Metropolis. And Superman comes out, and throw in Amy Adams. Daily Planet is like right there in the background. You can totally see that there. So they can fight once again in the city, and they throw down and things like that. And that'd be a really cool way to include Henry Cavill as a it's a cameo, but it's like a bigger cameo, right? It's like an actual supporting role in the third act, where he's actually actively fighting. It's not just holding a tray of food and you can't see his head, right? This is going to be an actual scene with him. Maybe he's out. He's at the Daily Planet out reporting. I don't know how he's back as Clark Kent. They probably never explain that ever, but he's back as Clark Kent. They're having lunch with Lois or something, and the fight with JSA, Black Adam takes it to Metropolis, and he just and he goes and flies over and saves the city or fights Black Adam. So that would be pretty awesome. Now that's just me fan theories of how that's going to go down, but as you can see, I'm really excited to see that happen. And it would be great to just have them throw down, and then it would allude to like Shazam later on, which I really think that was their plan all along. And so they just got to get through those negotiations and contracts and things like that. And once that's finalized and everything, we're going to have an official statement. I think we're going to have an official reveal through the trades, or we're just going to have to wait and see. Like when Black Adam comes out, and we're watching the movie, and the third act comes, and they're like, the fight goes to Metropolis, then we freak out. That could happen as well. So But anyway, really looking forward to it. To getting Henry Cavill multiple film deals that could take years. We'll probably never know, all the deals that are going down or whatnot. But it will be great to see. I mean, it will be fantastic to see him starting off in Black Adam. Like, imagine that third act, man. I would love to see this happen. Ever since I gazed on this picture, I'm like, this has to happen. That you don't make an amazing picture like this and it not happen. you don't plan this out. Dwayne Johnson, don't plan this out, without it possibly. He doesn't talk about beating down Superman unless he really thinks this is going to happen. So, like I said, it's been happening. What I've heard is it's still in talks and stuff like that, but that's okay. Hey, that's okay, But I'm glad that Dany Garcia is keeping it out in the forefront, and that's great. As Grace Randall says, as his manager, she wants to keep the interest as him and Superman strong, and she should. So that's great. That's awesome. But another person that we really wish would come back, and we will see her back, by the way. We will see her back in Zack Snyder's Justice League. But this is going to be the first time, well, not the first time, but we're not going to possibly, maybe, unless everything goes well, see her in the Flash movie. And what I'm talking about is Kiersey Clemons. Kiersey Clemons actually talked a little bit about Iris West and her possible role in the future the Flash movie. Now, this was promoting her Project Scoob earlier in the year, and I don't know how we never caught this, but she finally talks about this, and I want to share it with you right now. So Kiersey Clemons comments on her possible role in the Flash.
One of the things I wanted to just talk about, specifically with you, because you've got a lot of things under your belt now. Have you got to speak to Andy about the upcoming Flash? Because I know you were supposed to be Iris, and we're still excited for you to another Black Iris. So have you spoke to him about that? Because I know it's down the road, but we're still pumped to see you.
We're still in a long process of pre-development, and I just did a movie with Ezra last year that him and I put together. And so with the Flash, it's kind of just a matter of seeing where everything goes and how everyone's schedule lines up. And it's a work in progress, right? But I know that everyone is so curious for information. It's just not my information to give out, unfortunately.
I completely understand, Kiersey.
So that was Kiersey Clemons commenting on her possible future role in the Flash movie as Iris West, which I really, really hope she lands that role. She's an incredible actress. I get it. She wasn't on the casting grid that was back in December 2019, but that's okay because maybe changes were made to the casting grid from December 2019 to now, and then there were a lot of changes that could possibly add her as Iris West, but that hasn't been confirmed yet. That has not been officially confirmed yet, but that doesn't mean that she's not in the process of that. But as of the Scoob, which came out earlier this year, it sounds like there's still negotiations, there's still things to work out, scheduling and otherwise, but I think at least we'll see her in Zack Snyder's Justice League, and maybe, just maybe, if once we see her in Zack Snyder's Justice League, they haven't started filming The Flash yet, Andy Muschietti will witness her as Iris West, and her chemistry and her interaction and her relationship with Ezra Miller's Barry Allen in Zack Snyder's Justice League. He would say, you know what? That's a great, fantastic a characterization for Iris West. Why don't you come on and let's discuss you being Iris West in the Flash movie if it's needed. Maybe the Flash movie doesn't need an Iris West in it. Maybe they're going to a different direction for that, which is okay as well. But I'm hoping they don't recast her, especially with Ezra Miller being the Barry Allen for that world. But Hollywood is interesting and weird, and there's always different things. Maybe even Kiersey Clemons' scheduling doesn't work out as well, but I hope that's not the case, and we get to see her in Andy Muschietti's The Flash. So, like I said, this is all about hope, right? Hope Never Left is the title of this video, and it's renewed hope for Harley Quinn as they got their season 3 on HBO Max, renewed hope for HBO Max, and even DC Universe, because now they're They're staying, but they're going to be a comic-centric platform, but we're going to have all those shows, everything going to HBO Max, and maybe even Swamp Thing as well, right? The hope that the Suicide Squad will be heavily R-rated, and it sounds like it definitely will be. Hope for Superman and Lois, because the cast members are going through their COVID testing, and if they're tested negative, they can really get into production really quickly. Hope for Superman. Henry Cavill returning as Superman. Like BossLogic says in that picture, hope never left. That's Henry Cavill still has that cape in his closet, and they're still working through the kinks and things so that we can finally have an official announcement. And so hopefully we'll get that real soon. Hopefully we'll get news that he's going to reprise his role as Superman beyond Zack Snyder's Justice League. And also, of course, hope for Kiersey Clemons coming back as Iris West in Andy Muschietti's The Flash. All right. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for subscribing. Like I said, if you love this daily dose of DC content that includes movies, shows, and video games, please click the like button, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, keep this hot dog light on, and I'll see you next time.